It was one of those sweltering summer afternoons in suburban Atlanta, the kind where the humidity clings to your skin like a bad habit, and the cicadas scream from the pines as if warning of impending doom. I pulled into the driveway of our McMansion in Buckhead earlier than usual, my Mercedes SUV humming softly after a grueling day at the law firm. At 28, I was Sophia Reyes, the ambitious associate attorney who'd traded her Miami roots for Georgia's southern charm, building a life that screamed success. A sprawling house with a pool, a wardrobe full of Louboutins, and a husband, Marcus, who was the envy of every PTA mom at our neighborhood gatherings. He was the charismatic real estate mogul, always closing deals with that million-dollar smile. Our maid, Isabella, was the quiet force keeping it all spotless, or so I thought. But as I stepped through the front door that day, the air felt off, thick with something more than Georgia heat. Faint giggles echoed from upstairs, followed by a low moan. My heart raced as I climbed the stairs, heels clicking like a countdown. Pushing open our bedroom door, there they were, Marcus and Isabella, tangled in the Egyptian cotton sheets I'd picked out myself, her uniform discarded like yesterday's trash. The betrayal hit like a hurricane, raw, destructive, and utterly unforgiving. What followed wasn't just revenge, it was a masterpiece of calculated destruction that left him on his knees, begging for a mercy I had no intention of granting. To understand the depths of my fury, you have to go back to the fairy tale that turned into this nightmare. I met Marcus at a charity gala in Midtown Atlanta 5 years ago, back when I was fresh out of Emory Law School, interning at a top firm. He was 32, already a rising star in commercial real estate, with that all-American charm, tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes like polished emeralds. We bonded over Cuban coffee, my heritage, and Southern barbecue, his whirlwind romancing through weekends at Lake Lanier and proposals under the Atlanta skyline. We married in a lavish ceremony at the Biltmore, vowing forever in front of 300 guests. I threw myself into my career, billing hours on high-profile corporate cases, while Marcus flipped properties like pancakes. To ease the load, we hired Isabella through a high-end agency, a 25-year-old from Honduras, efficient, discreet, with a soft accent and a work ethic that made our home gleam. She became part of the family, or so the illusion went. I'd tip her generously, share laughs over coffee, even help with her English classes. "You're a lifesaver, Izzy," I'd say. Little did I know, she was saving her energy for something else. The signs were there, subtle at first, like whispers in the wind. Marcus started working late nights more often, his phone buzzing with texts he'd dismiss as clients. Isabella's shifts extended, she'd linger after dinner, offering to help with laundry. I'd catch them exchanging glances, quick, loaded, but chalk it up to my paranoia from long hours. Then came the missing jewelry. My grandmother's pearl necklace vanished from the dresser, only to reappear weeks later in Isabella's staff quarters during a routine clean. Marcus defended her fiercely. "Soph, she's family. Must be a mix-up." I let it slide, too exhausted from a big merger case to argue. But doubt festered. One evening, after a client dinner, I logged into our home security app, the Nest cams we'd installed for peace of mind. Flipping through footage, I saw it, blurry clips of them in the kitchen, her perched on the counter, him between her legs, laughing as if our vows were a joke. My world tilted. But I didn't confront them. No, I played the long game, letting the rage simmer into something sharper, more lethal. That fateful afternoon in July 2025 sealed it. Bursting in on them, I didn't scream or cry. I stood there, phone in hand, recording silently as they scrambled. "Sophia." "It's not," Marcus stammered, yanking on pants. Isabella clutched the sheet, eyes wide with feigned shock. I turned and walked out, heart pounding but mind racing. Divorce? Too clean, too merciful. No, I'd dismantle their lives piece by piece, using every tool in my legal arsenal and a few I'd bend the rules for. First, I moved out to a luxury Airbnb in Vinings, citing work stress, to friends. Marcus bombarded me with calls, flowers, pleas. It was a mistake, baby. One time. But I knew from the cams it had been months. Isabella quit via text, probably thinking she'd escape unscathed. Honey. Phase 1. Intelligence gathering. As a lawyer, I knew how to dig. I hired a private investigator from a discreet firm in Decatur, ex-FBI, no questions asked. Within days, reports flooded in. Marcus had been funding Isabella's secret apartment in Midtown using company expense accounts. Bank statements showed transfers labeled consulting fees. Worse, he'd been skimming from his real estate firm, inflating commissions to bankroll their affair. Isabella? Not so innocent. PI uncovered her green card was fraudulent. She'd entered on a tourist visa, overstayed, and faked documents. She had a rap sheet in Honduras for petty theft, buried but retrievable. I also discovered Marcus's side gigs, shady flips involving zoning bribes to Atlanta city officials. While compiling this dossier, I maintained the facade, polite text to Marcus, even a reconciliation dinner at Bones Steakhouse where I smiled through gritted teeth, planting seeds of false hope. The suspense built like a southern thunderstorm, dark clouds gathering. I confided in no one, isolating myself in that Airbnb, poring over evidence by lamplight. Nights blurred into strategy sessions, how to expose without implicating myself. I consulted anonymously with a hacker contact from a cybersecurity case, ethical boundaries blurred, but revenge demanded it. We set up phishing emails to Marcus's firm, mimicking IRS audits, to spook him. Meanwhile, I filed for divorce quietly, citing irreconcilable differences, but held off serving papers. Isabella vanished briefly, but social media betrayed her. Instagram stories from a burner account, flaunting gifts from my love in Savannah getaways. I tracked her via geotags, building a timeline. By September, the trap was set. Phase 2, the unraveling. It started small, anonymous tips to Marcus's firm about embezzlement. An internal audit followed. Whispers turned to shouts. He called me panicking, "Soph, someone's out to get me. Help." I feigned concern, offering legal advice that subtly worsened his position. Then, the big blow. I leaked the affair footage to a gossip blog popular in Atlanta's elite circles, edited to blur faces but recognizable to insiders. The post went viral locally. Buckhead moguls made affair exposed. Comments exploded. That's Marcus Reyes. And his wife's maid. His clients bailed, deals collapsed. Isabella's fraud surfaced next, a tip to Icy from a concerned citizen, complete with her fake docs. She was detained at the border trying to flee to Mexico, her dreams deported. But the real masterpiece was the gala. Marcus's firm hosted their annual black tie event at the Georgia Aquarium in October, sharks gliding behind glass walls like omens. He begged me to attend as his wife, for appearances. I agreed, dolled up in a crimson gown that screamed power. Midway through, as he schmoozed investors, I triggered the finale. A prearranged, technical glitch hacked the event's AV system, courtesy of my contact, projecting a slideshow, bank transfers, affair photos, bribe emails, all time-stamped, irrefutable. The room fell silent, then erupted in gasps. Marcus's face crumpled as security escorted him out. Federal agents waited outside. My anonymous FBI tip about corruption had paid off. He was arrested on the spot for fraud and bribery, cuffs clicking like justice's applause. The aftermath was symphony sweet. Marcus's empire crumbled. Firm bankrupt, assets seized, facing 10 to 15 years. He called from jail, voice broken, "Sophia, please. I'll sign anything." I visited once, through glass, watching him beg. "You destroyed us," he sobbed. "No," I replied coolly, "you did." Isabella? Deported, her U.S. life erased. But the twist that floored even me, digging deeper, I found out she was pregnant with Marcus's child. A paternity test from stolen DNA, don't ask, confirmed it. She reached out via a smuggled phone, pleading for help. I ignored it, letting fate handle the rest. Now, in December 2025, I sit in my new oceanfront condo in Miami, the Atlantic waves crashing like applause. I've risen at the firm, partner track secured, my story a whispered legend in legal circles. Revenge wasn't about destruction, it was reclamation. Marcus rots in a cell, begging letters piling up unread. Isabella? Last heard scraping by in Honduras, a single mom with regrets. I'm free, unbreakable, a queen in my own right. If betrayal is the poison, revenge is the antidote, so sweet, it'll make you beg for more. But mercy? That's for the weak.